I'm here at the barber shop at the Hilton, and I'm seeing something that I've never seen before. The barber is cutting hair with a straight razor. How long have you been cutting hair with a straight razor?
40 years.
And why? Is that basically how you learned, or?
No, I first started out doing the blunt cut, and I got frustrated because you couldn't put the blend in there, and then I saw this technique over in Raleigh, and the only man that's ever trained the USA Olympic team won the gold medal, so he's right here in Charlotte, so I got a chance to come and train under him. And it's a European technique, which is a lost art. See, because it feathers, sap feathers there. See, and then when it feathers, it locks together, and it keeps you from getting a big roll to the side. It keeps it from getting pointed on top. Perfect contour shape. And
I have never seen anything like that. Of course, my grandfather came from Sicily about he came to this country about 105 years ago and was a barber, so I don't know, maybe he could have done something like that.
Yeah,
but
probably, there's a lot of, it's out there, but it's very few people do it anymore. Sap feather.
That's really something. Now people who think that there's not interesting things to see everywhere. Now that's something to see. So it's a straight razor barbering. And what's your name again, sir?
Gene Buchan.
And Gene, you've been doing this for 40 years, you say?
Yes, sir.
40 years. And I gotta say, that is looking pretty good. No wonder you're all booked tonight. Just in case you're wondering why I'm here, I figured I was going to surprise our friends at BlogCon, maybe get my beard shaved off and see how much they think they were drinking once they saw me without it a few hours later. But it's quite a thing to see. What a technique.
Oh, yes, sir.
It's like,
now let me say this.
It's like watching Mike.
I really appreciate this technique because, as Gene said, it solves the pointed thing on the top of the head. My mama has always accused me of having a pointed head.
How long have you been getting your hair cut by this gentleman, if I may ask?
Let me see. I've been in Charlotte, 37 years.
Wow. So
and I ran into him, and the interesting thing is my wife is from the country down south of Goldsboro. And Gene and I got to talking one day, and lo and behold, Gene drove my wife's school bus.
How about that?
It is an extremely small world.
I found out the same thing. There's a security guard up at the top of the stairs who used to live 5 towns away from me in Massachusetts. But take a look. Watch this tech. I mean, if you're a person thinking of learning barbering, I'd come down and watch this gentleman, because it's style and technique like this that makes a person decide to come. And from what I understand, you're booked all night tonight. That's why I got no chance of being fit in. But so there's some.
I just invented a tool here. I just invented a tool so other people do it easier. So I'm getting ready to launch this real soon.
Oh, that tool there?
Oh yes, it's a new tool.
And you made that tool yourself?
Yes, sir. I designed it, and then I had someone that used to make parts for John Deere tractor to actually put it together.
I'll get my haircut with a John Deere. You gotta be kidding me.
That's the reason it don't look too flashy, because it's just this is a prototype. But it's waiting that patent office down at patent. Flat. People go here and feather it.
Now isn't that America though? A person gets an idea, learns an old technique, gets an idea, comes up with an invention, and just makes something happen. You know, you do any job you do it well, people will come and beat a path to your door. So, and do you barber exclusively here at the Hilton?
I do.
All right, so if you are at the Hilton in Charlotte, come on down, get your hair cut in a way I've never seen anything like it.
She moved hair any direction you want to when you sculpture it and feather it. If you just chop it, it just springs up and it rolls out here, it gets pointed in the top. You can't get contour, shape, and balance at all. Yeah, it's just really it can be aggravating, frustrating. I was getting ready to get out of business when I saw this technique, and I said, I was getting bored, because just chopping off the end, you couldn't get no curtains. Get contour, shape, and balance, and create.
What a thing! I tell you, we'll take a look at that.
That's all good back now.
And that's a good looking cut.
Now I'm gonna come back and just kind of square the point, so it's got to taper itself.
So you start with the straight razor that you'd normally use for the old beard razor.
Yeah.
Then you use the tool you invented yourself, and then you clean up with the scissors to get the little stuff.
Yeah, the reason I did the invented a tool because most people are scared because I've been cut over, probably 1,000 times over 40 years. Because I used to scotch on top of my fingers.
Oh yeah.
Like that. See, and so.
It's like old Mike Romano, the butcher. He cuts his. He's been in the butcher shop for years, and he cuts himself every now and again.
Do this technique.
Yep.
Got scars all over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, before I was working on getting it down. I've been cut over 1,000 times over 40 years. So with this tool, see other people can do it. We're not getting cut all this time.
Right. So people shy away from it because it takes a little sacrifice, but it pays off though in the final result.
It really does. It really.
I drove in from D.C. for this haircut. That and the weekend with the wife too.
Yeah.
So that's you work in D.C.?
I work in D.C.
Well, I'll tell you, it's quite a few people from D.C. here today at the BlogCon convention upstairs. But well, thank you very much for your time, both for you showing me the technique and for you allowing me to film you do it.
You're welcome.
Well, so guys, if you want to, again, I say, if you want a unique haircut, you come down here to Charlotte, and come down to the Hyatt at Charlotte, and you will get a technique that is practically lost.
You know, it's kept my wife married to me for almost 40 years now.
See, I blame my wife's failing eyesight for my 24 years. I always, my line is that it's for my good fortune and my wife's failing eyesight. That's what keeps me around for all these years. Well, thank you again.
Well, we hope you have a great evening in Charlotte and a great time here, and come back and visit with us.
Well, I hope so. I have a nephew who lives over in Raleigh. Unfortunately, unless he swings down tonight, I'm not going to have a chance to see him. But maybe I'll come down again if there's a political event. I'll come down to cover it.
Get you back here for the DNC then.
Well, that would be good. In fact, it's supposed to be here. Yeah. So if you're a DNC person, even though you don't agree with me politically, haircuts no party. Come and get a good haircut. We can argue and we'll both look good doing it.
Well, we just need to be working together a little more than we have lately, you know? It just seems like people have gone left and they've gone right, and they've left most of us hanging in the middle with, what can you say?
Well, I think we're going to figure it. I think we're going to figure out the direction once and for all in November. But I'm going to leave this as a pure haircut video from here. Well, all right, take care.
We'll figure out the direction.
We're not getting politics to it.
Once in November, and then for all will come again and again.
Yeah, that's true. Then again, if you can't talk that type of stuff in a barbershop, where can you talk?
Barbershop without politics.
True enough. True enough. All right. Good night, gentlemen.
You have a great evening.